What's up, guys? What's up, guys? Welcome to the Spike Paranormal Web Show.
I'm Brandon Gamble.
And I am Shane Pittman. And
it's kind of hard for me. I keep trying to look down at the camera while we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? Look at the screen like we used to do, but I need to look at the camera.
Right.
It's going to take some getting used to.
So you want to do this again?
No, we can edit it just like this. Let it go.
So you want to do another take?
No, we're just going to
ride
on
through. This could be the
through.
blooper reel, dude.
No, this can be what it is. Hey guys, I'm Brandon Gamble.
And I am Shane Pittman, and welcome to the Spike Paranormal Web Show.
This is the web video. And guys, we've got little topics for you tonight. We're going to do a topic on some things, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So,
and this is a new platform for us. What we're doing is we are doing a series of videos so we can put on our new website, which is spikeparanormalnetwork.com. And it's a way to let you guys see us if you want to. I don't know why you would want to, but
well, I mean, it's more than that, man. It's just also, so we can, put a video out there. Maybe, for a television series, things like that. We're going to have a lot of great things, guys. This is just a warm-up reel. It's almost like a pilot. It's going to get a lot better than this. We're going to get the screen in the middle so we can show our what we're talking about for the other fans and things like that.
Well, and it's not just going to be us sitting here. We're going to do some videos where we're on location in different areas.
Doing paranormal experiments.
Right.
Amongst other things. We don't want to give too many of our ideas away because we know that there are some coat tailors out there. The things that we've been accused about, other folks really do.
Yeah.
So,
well, and there's a lot of people that are doing this sort of thing already, but not like Spike Paranormal does.
No, we've got our own flair, our own pizzazz.
Oh, yes.
Spinazz, whatever the hell you want to call it. You know
and
what I mean?
For you guys watching this video, we also have a podcast. So if you go to Spreaker.com, it's SPREAKER.com, and look up Spike Paranormal Radio, you will be able to listen to us there. Let's say if you're on the go, you're driving around, you drive a lot for work, and you want to listen to us, you can do that. And that's another avenue to where you can check out what we talk about. We talk about a lot of paranormal topics,
right?
And that's basically what we do, man. And we have a weird approach to it sometimes. We talk about things that are very controversial and things that are not very popular sometimes, but we talk about it anyway. So we hope you guys enjoy it.
We want to get on some topics though. Let me know. And tonight, we're going to talk about is the end of days, and really get into the theories of end of days. What your theories are. I know out there with religion, there's a lot of people that believe in the end of that that we're in the end of days. What really is a really big mind screw.
Yeah.
Is just suppose the government knows, say they knew that we were influenced by extraterrestrial races, but you had all these people out here who believed in the Bible. All these people believed in Islam, because Islam and the Bible both believe in an end of days belief.
Yeah.
What if they fabricated, like if you look into Project Bluebeam? I don't know if folks out there listening have heard about Project Bluebeam. Project Bluebeam is where they're putting these satellites all over outside the world, almost like a movie screen, and it had to do with like the chemtrails. So the chemtrails would, and I'm trying to get too far on a limb out there for folks that want to understand, like a movie projection screen, like chemtrails would be almost like a atmospheric hologram. They're putting a backdrop out there for them to make a hologram for, and say they staged the second coming of a Messiah.
So you're saying aliens that possibly do that?
No, I'm talking about our own government doing this. Look into Project Bluebeam if you don't believe me.
Oh yeah.
And what they're doing is staging a Masonic comeback, and reason why would be to control you even further. And I mean, i.e., like, say if you was a Muslim, well, you would see the new Messiah come. If you was a Christian, the Christ would come back. If you was a Buddhist, maybe Buddha would come back or something like that. Whatever your personal belief was, that would be what you saw. Do you see what I mean?
Would it be a simultaneous thing? Would
Yeah,
it be
everyone saw it at the
once?
same time. They thought the Messiah came back. And they were doing this to further control, and it was all fabricated and a lie. And the reason they could do this is because they knew how much people believed in religion. You know, arguing with someone about religion is like arguing with a drunk person. You know what I mean? It really is.
Yeah.
You can't. It's almost like arguing with a brick wall. You're not gonna ever get through to them. They're never gonna be open-minded long enough to understand it. And you know, I've been a very religious person, but you know, with myself personally, man, I started actually praying to God that, you know, He would actually show me, or not he or she, it would actually show me the truth, to reveal things to me. And I'm starting to be revealed things slowly but surely. I just don't want to, I don't want to lead folks astray there, I don't necessarily know what God is, you know what I mean? But if we're going back in the end of days, there are a lot of things, though, that Revelation is showing come to pass. And that's why I was saying that, what if the government was making these things come to pass, so folks like me that believe in the Christian religion or the Islam religion will be like, okay, well, this is happening, and this is happening. You see what I'm saying? What if it was an all-master scheme? And I know there's going to be folks out there, well, listen, this fucking dude.
Pretty much putting the blinders over people's eyes in order to, like a mass control type thing. Is that what you're saying?
So that's exactly what I'm saying.
Why, let's say our government, if this was all over the world, why would it be our governments or different governments coming together to make this happen?
Of course, you got to think about the New World Order, Shane. New World Order. Look at the UN, United Nations. It's always all of our worlds together. It's never singled out. You know what I mean? If you don't want to be a part of the NWO, I know. So if you don't want to be a part of that, then you get singled out. Look at Putin. He doesn't want to be a part of what the New World Order is trying to do right now. And look how, I'm not saying anything good about Putin. I'm just saying, but he is being singled out amongst the other countries, and this is fact. You know what I mean? So
what do you think the ultimate goal would be for this, besides the control factor? Let's say, and when do you think would be
for us not to evolve?
Well, when do you think would be an inopportune or like an opportune time to do it? Like, when do you think that we're living in these times now to where that would happen, or what?
Yeah. What I was getting at is, with the end of days thing, like, say what I said happened, like with Project Bluebeam. Say they did something like that. Say they staged either a alien attack or something. People thought it was the end of the world. Well, what would be actually the end of the world? Like, say it, because it wouldn't really be ending. You see what I'm saying? It would be all fabricated. Some folks, you know what I mean? And what do you think the end of the world necessarily means? Because the end of the world, when I hear about that, and I was thinking about it the other day with Revelation, because I do believe in a lot of the Bible. I do. And I don't want to.
You just have a lot of questions.
I have a lot of questions,
and it's okay.
But
it's okay
when you sit here and you think about it, even if you do believe in the Bible, if you believe in Revelations, it talks about the end of days comes, but it doesn't say it's the end of man. It's the end of creation. You see what I'm saying?
Maybe it's the end of days. End of maybe the world as we know it.
Well, what if the end of days necessarily means the end of our time as a human race like this, and it's time for us to become something more? Because think about it. If it is true, and say He made a new place for us, and we died, or He came back, we would actually, and it says you become like more like the angels. You would actually be evolving into a higher being. So in some sense, what I'm saying is the truth.
So how do you think that would happen? Would our bodies have to physically die at that point? Or would it be just another, like an evolutionary process? And if that's the case, how we know...
I ain't necessarily saying about an evolutionary process, and I'm not saying that is not true. Scientific facts point to that there was some involvement in our DNA at one point in time. This is fact. I think that, if... what you're asking, would you have to die to evolve higher? I don't necessarily think so. No, I don't. I do not. Why would you say that? Why do you think you would have to die to...
Well, I mean, for us to, like, let's say our race as we know it, how would we evolve to a higher level? Would it be intellectually? What would it be? I mean, what is your opinion on that?
I think it'd be all those things, man. All the things above. I think that humans are not tapping into everything that we possibly can do. I think that humans could actually be telepathic. I think that humans could do a lot of things, but we're so dependent on technology, we don't actually delve into it. We're actually becoming more AI than we are human, and losing we're losing more of our organics than we're becoming more machine, almost like Darth Vader. I know it sounds stupid, and some folks might get it, you know what I mean? But think about it. Right now we're organic beings, but we're depending so much on technology and AI that eventually we would quit depending on our organic things. Like, think about it, man. Like, right now, I grew up out in the country. Most kids right now, they couldn't go out in the woods and wouldn't know what to do. They wouldn't know what the fuck to do because they don't have their cell phones. They don't have their iPads to play with. They wouldn't know how to start a fire. They wouldn't know how to dig up fat lighter to build a fire. They wouldn't have a clue,
true.
because of the technology. So think about it. If AI did become real and AI did take over, I mean, you'd be pretty much screwed. I mean, you couldn't, because you wouldn't know. You would not know this. You see what I mean?
Well, and like you were saying, the world as we know it now is really going to that level, if not almost complete. I mean, we have cars that drive themselves now. Everything is being done for
right. I mean,
I mean, we have technology that is doing things for us now, and we don't really have. We're taking us out of it and bringing that element into play.
Right.
In this case,
and I'm not saying, man, that the prophecies of the end days are not going to come true. I'm not. There's so many prophecies that point to it, and just like, with certain Islamic beliefs, they believe that what they're doing over there overseas is they're bringing on the end of days. I know a lot of folks disagree with me with that, but I mean, it comes out of their mouths themselves. They're bringing on the caliphate, which type of end of days. The Christians believe that we're in the end of days because of the revelations. Nostradamus people believe we're in the end of days because of Nostradamus predictions. I think it's one of the Apache Indian tribes that I can't remember necessarily which actually Indian tribe it is, but they are, even with our timeline right now, are predicting we're in the end of days. So with all these people predicting these are the end of days, what exactly do they mean by the end of days? Does it mean by the end of our time, or does it mean, because like I said with the dinosaurs had their end of days, but the world kept going. You see what I'm saying? But their species ended. So the end of days, in other words, is the ending for our species, or is the ending of our world as we know it? Do you see what I mean? Is our entire existence, and will we be evolving into another dimension, another plane of existence? Is what I'm kind of getting at. I know it's kind of deep and kind of out there, but what would you say?
Well, it could be a process like we're talking about, or it could be like the dinosaurs. How I believe it was sudden, like a meteor came down. And that was that.
Do you believe that it was a meteor, or do you believe that maybe they were systematically extincted? Is that a real word?
Yeah, systematically. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
how do we know they weren't hit with a nuclear bomb from some extraterrestrial race?
It could have
wiped
been
out, so man could be put here because we're a more intelligent species.
It could have been, or it could have just been a meteor.
And know what really threw me off? When folks don't believe, say they believe in extraterrestrials, they believe in, and stuff like that. What about the footprints they found where you had a humanoid footprint next to a dinosaur's? And that goes to show you with the reptilian race supposedly been here millions of years. They would have been around when the dinosaurs were around. So how do you know that footprint didn't belong to a reptilian type being?
It's very possible.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't say it.
Right, no one was, but I'm just saying, and theoretically, because man did not exist at that time. But have you seen? They seen the encyclopedia that I think they dug up a masking of a footprint right next to a dinosaur's footprint. So it was showing a man was walking, or a man type being, humanoid being was walking alongside where a dinosaur had walked, because they had the cast of both their footprints next to each other. And all I'm saying is that if the reptilian race is real,
you think the caveman days? You don't think dinosaurs were there?
I mean, they could have been, but this would, been maybe millions of years ago, is what I'm getting at, and that was before the caveman. But they say that the reptilian race has been here for millions of years, been on this planet, living underground. You see what I'm saying?
Well, and everybody that you're watching right now, and you're hearing about the reptilian race and aliens and all of that, I thought it was bogus, a lot of the stuff. But I'm hearing more and more accounts of people that have done years and years of research. I'm talking 20 plus years. For us to just disregard what they are saying and say, oh, it's all bogus, or we lump them in a group of crazies, I think it's irresponsible to do that. I think that we really need to listen to these people. I think there are some levels of truth, and I think there's also some level of mistruth with all of these people that are talking. But I still think, like, whenever they're talking about aliens and reptilians and all of this stuff, I think we really need to listen to it, because I believe there's some people out there that they're trying to tell us something,
Well, it goes
and
back
we're
to
not
what
listening.
I was saying, and there's so many people out there that are so stuck in their ways. Like I said, it wouldn't matter what you told them; they're not going
Yeah.
to listen to you anyway.
It's sad, man.
It's just because they don't want to know. And the more and more I start finding out about the reality of the world, I start sitting there and thinking that, man, maybe you're better off living that lie, because as long as you live that lie, you don't have to worry about the things that are actually going on. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So some folks are happier living that lie. You know.
Well, I mean, and there's some people I think that they say they try to critique it and they're skeptical of it because they don't want to believe in that. It scares them. And I can understand in that regard. It's a scary thing.
Right,
I mean, stuff that we don't understand and things that we don't understand about.
Right.
I would want to turn a blind eye too. I would want to be willfully ignorant to a degree because I don't want to feel uncomfortable. Who wants to feel uncomfortable, dude? Seriously.
Well, and one of the reasons I was going to get at, one of the reasons that I do believe in the Messiah, the reason I do believe in Christ, the reason I do believe in Yahshua, is because on one of my personal, it's going to be in my story that I'm writing, that I will be releasing soon, very, very soon, actually.
Yes.
I had an encounter where I spoke to a being that was supposedly I am. I know it was, and then I had a dream of him, and I'd never seen a portal before in my life. I've never seen one in my life before, but in this dream, a portal opened, and there was a man. Oh, I guess he was a man. He was in a cloaked, dark cloaked, almost like wizard type robe. It was crazy, but his back was to me, and all he kept saying was, "Watch for me, wait for me." I don't know. It was like he was coming. You know what I'm saying? He was coming here. And I'm not saying that that's the rapture or nothing like that, but I'm just saying that this, whatever being this was, he was omnipotent. He was more, you know what I'm saying, than what we are. And that's why I do believe a lot of what Revelation says. I do believe that folks did see stuff in Revelation. I do believe they did see these things. But I do believe also that the Bible has been manipulated and twisted to keep you from knowing the truth, to keep you led astray, to constantly keep you led astray. Like you're being drip fed the truth, but a good bit of it is being just, mowed over to, hey, this is that way to kind of keep folks from ever finding out what's really going on. You see what I'm saying? You're always kept in the dark forever.
Right. Well, here's a question, man, that I really wanted to get your viewpoint on. Mm-hmm. And for people that are listening out there or watching, you can leave a comment below on this video and let us know your thoughts on this, because we value your opinion. That's why we're broadcasting it out like this, so we can get your viewpoints. It's not just me and Brandon talking. It's, broadcasting it out there so you guys can show us what you've got and your topics and all of that. But question I had, man, is, okay, the end of the world. We think that the end of the world is coming, okay, at some point. What does that say for you? What does that say for me? How do you think we should conduct ourselves? Because we know that some form of the end of the world is coming. So what do we need to do?
You know what I do,
to
man?
prepare for that?
I'm constantly praying, constantly seeking answers. Every morning when I get up and work out, man, I'm always looking at the sky. Every morning I am. I'm always looking at the sky, hoping that some kind of sign, something will show me, you know what I'm saying, what's really out there. Because obviously you're not going to get it from what you're being taught here on this earth. You're not. You're not going to be told the right things. You're not going to be shown the right things, because you never will. I mean, we've asked it a million times. All the stories in the Bible, why don't they still happen today?
Yeah.
Why don't they? Oh, well, they weren't needed at that time. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's a lie that kept you in the dark. The reason why, look, Moses supposedly parted the waters. Peter walked on water. These are things that are unexplained. Why could they happen then, but they can't happen now? I'm not saying they didn't happen. They can't happen because you're not being shown the truth. You're being kept in the dark, and that's what they want to continue. That's why I'm always looking for the truth. That's why I'm always asking, if you're out there, and you know the truth, I want to know. Because if I find out, I'm going to let everyone else know.
Right. What if let's say people don't believe in prayer? Do you think
prayer can be anything? You can pray to that damn stick over there in the mud if you want to.
But do you think there's other ways that people can prepare other than the prayer? Like, let's say that, like we said, the end of our existence as we know it is going away.
Well,
would there be any other preparation, you think?
According to some sources, that this year, and I'm not predicting this. This is someone else's prediction. As between March and July, we will have extraterrestrial contact, and by 2019, the world as we know it will no longer be the same. And this is someone who actually predicted Trump's presidency last February. And
who was it?
Simon Parks. He actually has he actually watched a new interview with him today. He said that in March, between March and July of this coming year, we will have extraterrestrial contact. It will be a known source. It's going to come out, and he said as about 2019, it will no longer be a world as we know it.
Listen,
Simon. Now, how did he predict the Trump thing in February? No one thought Trump would win. No, nobody did.
That is something. Listen, when Brandon was telling me about Simon Parks and what he was saying, I really thought that he was a kook. He was a kook. I thought he was just out there, okay? And I started listening to podcasts, some things that he was saying, Brandon. Dude, this guy, you would think some of the stuff he says is so far-fetched that you question it. But at the same time, this guy is highly intelligent. You listen to him, and some of the things he said, like Brandon said, I would not have said that he was intelligent before this. He said that Trump was going to get the presidency. He said that Hillary Clinton, she surrendered in a type of way, which if you watch different clips and everything, whenever she gave her concession speech, she looked defeated, but it was almost like she knew. It was almost like she knew this was going to happen. But if you listen to Simon Parks,
I don't believe that she knew it was going to happen. But go ahead.
Well, I mean, you put it side by side. If you listen to Simon Parks and then you see the events that led up to Trump being elected,
right?
It's mind blowing, dude. That's why I'm starting to listen more to what Simon Parks has got to say. So check him out.
Look, and a lot of folks, don't listen to the guy, but the man's an elected official, and I'm not saying that everything he says is, for gold.
In Britain,
all I'm
right?
Getting at, in Britain, all I'm getting at is that, damn, if this man's, landing these punches like he is, I mean, maybe he should be listened to. A lot of things that he said has opened my eyes to a lot of the questions that I have.
Yeah.
Man, some of the things that I've had, experiences I've had happen to me, the Bible doesn't answer them. It doesn't.
No.
I mean, being woken up in the middle of an astral plane in the middle of the night, I mean, where does that come from? Seeing demonic spirits. And the reason I do believe in the Bible is because it talks about demonic spirits, but I know they're real. I've seen them. They're real. You know what I mean?
But so does the Quran.
Exactly.
So, I mean, I think that's what you're saying, too, is I think we got to take a little bit from everything because I think there's pieces of the puzzle
and
that
like
we've got to
all been stirred up. That way you'll never know the truth. That way you never know what's really going on. And the reason that I want you to know what's going on is because it's control. And folks are like, oh, well, I'm not controlled to this. You're controlled every single day because you have to get your ass up and go to a job so you can make money to make the world go around.
You're a slave.
You're a slave to money.
I'm
and
a
it's
slave.
the truth. That all other, and especially all other existence besides ours, all races of beings, we are the only race of beings that live for money. Other races, the reason how do you have, commerce and stuff? They do barter and trade. We're going to talk about it on the podcast tonight. I have it written up. But barter and trade is what the Indians used to do. Look how harmonious most Indians lived in, except for when they were fighting amongst tribes. They did trade. You had buffalo skins. Well, you wanted some corn. Well, I'll trade you these skins for corn. It wasn't about money. Nowadays, girls will... Now, people get so mad at me. Girls will sleep with a dude because he's got damn 20-inch rims and a $5,000 bank account. You know what I mean? And the dude could be the ugliest guy in the world. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That this world right here, and it goes for men too. Men will kill another man over his fucking shoes, or they'll kill a man over damn, his bank account. It's a world that has been corrupted by fucking money. And it says in the Bible, first of all, the love of money is root of all evil. Not money, but the love of it. You know what I mean? The desire of it. And supposedly our species is the only one that is like this. And I think that's completely wrong, and it should be changed.
It is
when
wrong.
Folks will be like, well, that's because you ain't got no fucking money, reason you think like that. Well, hey, if that's what you think, then more power to you. I'm just going to tell you right now that your mind is not where mine's at, and that's fine, dude. I completely, that's your own opinion.
Well, and here's the thing: there may be some people that don't think the same way we do, but like I was talking about with the Bible and the Quran and everything else, I think figuratively, there are pieces of a puzzle that we need to take from every walk of our life, because there are so many different cultures, so many different things in our life, that if we just put ourselves in a little box in Georgia, where we're broadcasting on the front porch of the South right now, if we put ourselves in this little box, there's so much more out there that we haven't yet understood, or maybe not even tried to understand.
They have these shows called Ancient Aliens. Okay, I know a lot of folks talk. I know it's a good show, but over in India, in the Hindu belief, they talk about a war that happened in the skies between two extraterrestrial races. I don't know exactly which two they were, but they talk about it. This is a myth. This is a legend. It's as much a myth or a legend as our Bible is. They are old stories like you hear out of the Old Testament. They're supposedly, this is a legend, all this, that. But according to the book of Alien Races, this actually did take place, and to
Simon Parks.
And to Simon Parks. This actually did take place, and to the people over there, these are gods. But what I'm getting at is that to this book of Alien Races, I'm not saying that it's 100% fact. I'm just saying that it is saying that no, these weren't gods. These were extraterrestrials that were fighting. But to our primitive man, that's all it was. And that's what I'm trying to get out there to folks, man. Look, you've been probably maybe spoon-fed. I'm not saying that God isn't real. There's definitely a God. There is a God. There is 100%. I believe it. I know there is. I believe there's also a Messiah. I do. I'm sorry. I do. The man, and a Messiah could be anything. That a person that comes to show us the way, to show us, to free us from these chains that we really live in. And all I'm saying is that you're being blinded. We are all being blinded. Now there's folks that will die believing this. You know what I mean? They will. They'll die believing it, and they'll kill over it. You see what I mean? Think of how many wars have been fought over what you believe compared to this person.
Yeah.
Or someone makes a funny cartoon about the Prophet Muhammad, and they go fucking shoot a place up. You know what I mean?
Well, you know what I think.
And this goes for both sides of the fence.
Well, you know what I think, man. Honestly, I think that there is a little bit of truth in every fucking thing, man. Everything.
A little yin and my yang.
Well, yeah. Well, I wouldn't go that far when I'm saying that. But what I'm saying is, I think there's a little bit of truth even in the biggest lie. The biggest lie that you think is out there, I think there's a little bit of truth. Maybe the biggest lie that you think you've been told.
So you're saying
started off with a little white.
Told, there might be a little bit of truth to all these stories.
To all of it.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe our job here on this planet, number one, is to learn. And maybe to grow, maybe as a species, maybe we don't know what our ultimate purpose is.
Well, I mean, look,
but I think we need to learn.
Purpose, man, of course, is to evolve into a higher race.
To learn.
Look, I mean, think about it. If there's other extraterrestrial races out there, look, they didn't just start off jumping in fucking machines and jumping in portals and coming from Earth or jumping in interdimensions. They didn't. They had to start off as a primitive race and grow into something else.
Yeah.
And just like a plant grows into life, you know, you start with a seed. It starts off and then eventually it bears fruit. You see what I mean? Well, how do we know that's what man isn't supposed to do? Look, there's signs of everything that we're supposed to be all around us. Just like I'm talking about in the last episode of the podcast we did with the fish in the ocean. You know what I mean? Not knowing what goes on outside of their world. There's signs of everything outside of us. Do you see what I mean? Or, I mean, all around us. You just have to look for the answers. Yeah. The Indians believe that very much. And folks always thought, well, they're crazy Indians. No, they were very fucking smart people. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They saw it every day in everyday life. But folks are so concerned with their technology that they forget to look at the world. They forget to learn that the earth is there. The earth is alive. It has feelings and everything.
It's a mask.
So the rest of us.
It's a mask. The technology and everything else is blinders to where we don't want to put the effort into search
and Lucifer, and you know, and I believe there is an evil like that. What if he is AI? What if Lucifer isn't organic? What if Lucifer is an AI type being? Because you got to understand, AI learns on itself, and once it learns, it can create on its own, and it becomes a technological advantage.
But you know what's even scarier?
Compared to us, it's different from us.
You know what's even scarier than that? The AI was created by something.
Probably by an organic being, of course.
Well, whether it's from humans...
Hell, we created AI. Yeah. We have our own AI. Yeah.
Or whether it's from humans or aliens, it was created, which means who's more evil? The Satan, which is the possible AI, or is it the person that created it?
Well, man, I think if somebody created it, they probably created it in all well-being. But, you know, like I was saying, and we can go back to the CERN topic. CERN has found out, you know what I'm saying, it's just like with light and dark, good and bad. You can't have our world without having the opposite of our world. This is a fact. CERN has found this out, that our matter, you have to have antimatter. And a lot of folks that don't understand what I'm talking about, that, you know, and I guess it's you got to think about what I'm saying. And it means they have scientific proof of it now. Our world is here Well, around our world is a hostile world that we cannot see. It's another dimension, but it has to exist so we can have this world. Do you see what I'm saying?
The yin and the yang,
yeah,
right?
and like the story that talk about hell. I think that hell is that antimatter world. Do you see what I'm saying? That world that is of all darkness. It's very hostile. It's very unpleasant. You see what I'm saying? And our world was never supposed to mix inside of that world, but for some reason it is. And I think that's what, when they open that portal, it could unleash something entirely crazy that would fucking ruin our world, and that could definitely be the end of days. And that's where we're going with the end of days subject for our web video. But think about it. What if CERN is something that could trigger the end of days, and we're playing with the God's particle, and we have no idea what we're fucking with?
It's definitely possible, but here's another thing, man. If this world is the anti of what our world is, right. Antimatter.
I mean, antimatter. You have to have matter. You have to have antimatter.
But
these are protons and things.
But let's look closer to this. Our world is fucking horrible.
It is becoming horrible. It didn't start off that way.
But
think about it, over time, it is. Yeah.
So what if the anti now is a better place?
Oh hell no! Not according to what they're saying. This thing is complete hostility. Think about your
We're hostile now.
Think about your favorite horror movie, Shane.
Yeah.
And you're living in that fucking all the time. Is that better than this? But look at see how it's getting. On the way to work yesterday.
I guess if I was in Istanbul or Turkey, it'd be a little bit different.
Well, listen to me. I was on the way to work yesterday. I was sitting there thinking about it. I was like, dude, our world. I was like, look at us. I was like, this is what we're supposed to be. I was like, look at the human race. We're almost at World War III, whether folks want to admit it or not. We have 100% racial tension over here in the U.S. Yeah. Whether folks want to admit it or not. Our species does nothing but kill each other. We slaughter babies in the drove with abortions. We fucking fight with everybody over every little fucking thing. Indians were slaughtered. Black people were slaves. The white men kill each other. I mean, it was fucking. I mean, we were a horrible fucking race. I was like, is this what we're supposed to be? Is this what the fuck we were supposed to end up being? Because if it is, somebody somewhere fucking failed. Yeah. Now I'm being serious. Yeah. So you got to think about it. Are we going to continue? And like we're saying, maybe there should be an end of days. Because I mean, think about it. Because somewhere, like I said, somebody failed. I mean, seriously, think about it, dude. If this is what we're supposed to meant to be, then I mean, that's really fucked up. It is.
But do you think? I mean, on the same token of that, we have a lot of people that are very good people. There's a lot of greatness.
Right, and that is why I believe that man still has a chance. Man still has a chance because what you just said, Shane, there's still good people left in this world. We have not all lost our way yet.
Yeah, and I believe a lot.
And think about this, Shane. This is going to be a mind fuck right here. If the rapture, in sense, is true, and the fact that there are the people that can think on a higher level of evolving, they're the ones that get to go. And I'm not saying this world here will get wiped out, but people like us would be taken away to a place where we can live on a higher plane while they can still live here and live this world out because they don't want to think that way. They don't want to live that way. They still want to live on this existence.
that would blow your mind, really.
But in a sense, it would be a rapture. It may not be the rapture that the story's told, but it would be a rapture in a sense. You don't have to stay here anymore. You're going to be taken away somewhere else.
It'd be a higher ascension.
Exactly.
But
You've evolved into a higher dimension.
It would be a heaven compared to this.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Because it would be in a form, it would be a rapture. You see what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
You're being taken away.
And the way we would be taken away would probably be extraterrestrial or something
100%.
To where that can transport us somewhere else.
It would be extraterrestrial. 100%. It would be extraterrestrial.
Which makes it makes you question, though. It makes you question everything that has to do with any type of religion, if that is the truth. What we're saying right now, that makes you question everything.
Yeah, dude, definitely. I mean, look, Muhammad supposedly was put up in a magic carpet and flown around the world, I think, in a few hours, and he wrote the Quran. Yeah. What the fuck do you think he was riding in? A magic carpet? He was riding probably in a flying saucer. Talking to some extraterrestrial beings, man. I'm being serious. You know?
And it doesn't necessarily mean that is true. It could mean that some of it is true.
Where the hell's he got that magic carpet hidden? Because I sure as hell want one. You know what I mean?
Or he could have just been making it all up.
I don't think so, man. For someone to write something like that and be believed in that much, there has to be some truth to the story.
Yeah.
There has to be. You know what I'm saying? Like you were saying earlier, you got to find truth in everything.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, what the Quran says about jinn is 100% true. It is.
Well, Simon Parks tends to believe you as well.
Right.
That's the thing. Please check out Simon Parks.
How much time we got left, guys?
We're actually
closing in.
Done now.
Okay, guys.
But thank you guys for watching Spike Paranormal, the web show. It's going to get better as we go along. It's going to get better as we go along.
We might have to edit that out.
Well, we're going to get a green screen because that's all we need. We're going to get a green screen, and we're going to have our logo and all that stuff up there. We're just giving you a little taste of what the show's going to be about.
Yeah,
it's not just going to be me and Brandon talking. It's going to be a lot of different things, so you guys need to stay tuned.
And we're gonna try to get Simon Parks on our show, actually.
We're actually in talks with that, and I think that's coming very soon.
Yes.
So,
and plus my book is coming out. It's gonna be a huge seller.
Yes, Brandon's book is going to be coming out a lot sooner than you think.
Yes, it is.
We're going to be keeping you guys updated with that. Simon Parks as well. We're in talks with that. Hopefully, we can do a web show with him with the Skype at the same time
and have him on there. Yeah,
and we can do that, and that way you guys.
And we're going to do an interview,
him.
and we're going to do it like a normal people. We're not going to try to get out there and use. I was watching one interview right before we started the show. And some of the folks that try to, and the thing about it is they're trying to reach an audience of people like us.
Yeah.
Well, when you're using third level college words on folks like us, we get lost. Look, okay, I get it. Look, Simon Parks is really intelligent, and you want to equal up to him, and you want to be intelligent too. Look, I'm sorry. If I interview the guy, hey, man, I'm going to talk to you just like I talk to any other motherfucker I see in the bar.
Like us, man.
I mean, for real. And if you can't relate, then I'm sorry, because you're sitting there saying that you can. Well, then I'm sorry. But all that stuff, I mean, how many people I've watched interview and they do that? Well, we want to opt to the third option of the $2.95. It don't make no damn sense what the fuck you're saying. You know what I mean? It's a three-letter word, you know? I mean,
well, look, at the end of the day, he's... At the end of the day, he's a person just like we are.
Exactly. He puts his pants on just like me.
Right. So, if we do have the honor of having him on our show, we are just going to talk to him. And what we really want out of that interview specifically is we want you guys to listen to him. Because I'm telling you, once I started listening to him, it's a whole new ballgame.
Well,
you're going to hear a lot of things.
I would like you to check him out. Like I said, I'm not taking his shit for 100%.
No, you shouldn't.
I'm an apostle, I'm following him, a disciple, something like that. But I mean, I'm saying I've been a big fan of his for several years. Sometimes Simon Parks gets out there on a limb, and some of the things I'd be like, well, I question a lot what you're saying, because like one of these girls in this last interview was like, well, we're beings of light, so we can move. Well, I was sitting there thinking, I was like, well, how in the hell can you say that? Because the last time when I woke up, and I told the story on the last podcast, and I was in the astral plane, I was not light at all. I was dark like the other beings that were around me, and it was not a light being. They were actually a dark being, and it actually kind of scared me when I realized I didn't see flesh. I saw a black hand. You know what I'm saying, like a spirit hand. And I was like, well, how can you be a being of light if my hand's as black as night? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it really wigged me out.
Yeah.
So I'm saying everything that they're throwing out there.
Well, and that's that woman. That's that woman saying
right. But I'm just saying he didn't argue with her. So I'm just sitting there saying like, well, do you agree with her or not? But we'll keep it simple. We'll keep it safe.
Well, here's the thing. To close up the show.
Yeah, we need to continue the podcast going.
Take a little bit. Evaluate.
Put
research.
your own puzzle together, man.
Right. Evaluate and research. And what makes sense to you and what you think is the truth after you've researched. Because if we all
do this, dude, we're going to crack the code eventually, and we'll find out. Because I'm telling you, once we find this out, we find out what everything really is. We'll find out, look, if religion, I'm not saying it's false, but no, we will. If religion, you know what I'm saying, is this or that, once we know what it is, it's going to be a totally different plane of existence, dude. Yeah. There's no more bullshit, no more lies, no more hiding, no more kept in the dark. Finally, we can become who we were meant to be. Yeah. And that also goes to say, if the Bible's true about being kept in the dark, well, who was supposed to come to free us from this? Maybe the Messiah is going to be someone that comes to say, look, this is what everything really is. I don't have to live this lie anymore that you're being led into.
And this may be a little blasphemous for a lot of people, but maybe the Messiah, in a way, is ourselves. Maybe if we... I mean, think about this. Maybe if we...
That's Shane's opinion.
Maybe if we opened our mind enough to be able to crack that code, be able to understand, maybe us as a human race is our Messiah. We're the ones that will be able to free us to be able to learn the truth. I mean, you think about it. A lot of people out there, and we're going to talk about this on the podcast, so if you guys are watching this, make sure you check out the Sprite Paranormal Radio Show on Spreaker. But we're going to be talking about this on the podcast a little bit because I was thinking there's a lot of people in this world that fear alone puts them in a bondage to where they will not go out and explore more of life. So, I mean, if we kind of open our mind enough to kind of crack that code like we were talking about, I think that we would discover truth.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And a lot of people don't know the truth because of fear, because of ignorance, a lot of different
Some folks
things.
don't want to know.
Right.
Some folks, well, let's close.
Because
let's
of
close the show
fear.
out. And we talked about the end of the day. Let's go ahead and get the podcast. We can go on forever.
Yeah, we could.
Guys,
But
we want to thank everyone for
thank
checking
you
us out.
guys.
This is episode 1 of our web series. We will be coming out with you next Friday with the next one. Look forward to some more episodes. If you got any input, anything, check out our website.
Yep.
If you're a paranormal group and you want to have your video played, your series played, put it on our
You wanna
webpage.
you want to be featured as, you have a web series, you want to feature it. SpikeParanormalNetwork.com is coming. I've been talking to some of our people that are working for us. It's coming very soon. So you guys need to go ahead and write that down, because we are coming very soon with the Spike Paranormal Network. And you guys will have an opportunity to be able to broadcast yourself to a lot of people that are interested in the paranormal field. And you'll be able to have your own show in a web format. So it's really cool. So thank you guys for listening to the Spike Paranormal web show. Brandon is bored now. But thank you guys.
You see the rings out there?
Yeah, I saw it. But thank you guys.
Professional right there. I
Thank
learned
you
how to do that
guys.
when I was 12, guys.
Thank
All
you
right.
guys very
Thank you
much.
guys.
And we will see you next week.